Okay, shalom, shalom, kwam yasha'Allah, koholoima, Yahweh, Bachashim, Yahweh Shai, Bachashim, Rakah HaKodash, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit, taught us this beautiful truth, and just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf, that's out here sincerely keeping the laws and statutes and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Achanan Awaf, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And this article is in the U.S. Sun, and it says Facebook and Instagram ban sparks deadly riots as Gen Z protests descends into violence with at least 14 killed in Nepal. So this Gen Z, hey, this is their generation, man, of that internet, you know, of these social media hookups, man, you know, and that's their way of expressing themselves. And they really don't have no damn life other than that. You know, they want to, you know, post and look at videos and waste their damn life away. And the only reason why, well, I don't have any of these. I don't have a Facebook or an Instagram shit. All I got is this YouTube. And it's only to further this gospel or do my work, you know, do the work, you know, by the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to bring this gospel forth to let our people know, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that you are the Hebrew Israelites. True name of the Father is Yahweh, which means he exists with the existing one. True name of his son, which is Yahweh Shai, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus. And which means that he's the savior or deliverer in the Paleo Hebrew. You know, the basics, you know what I'm saying? That you're letting our people know that this gospel, this good news, is for the children of Israel, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and you only. And so, other than that, here and there, I don't know, check out something, but it's rare, you know what I'm saying? I might see something and kind of scroll into it for a hot sec, but generally, I'm only using this for this gospel, man. So, but people really, their livelihoods are into this. You know, a lot of people make good money off of Facebook. A lot of people make good money off of Instagram and, you know, TikTok, and, you know, they monetize the channel sometimes. They sell stuff. So people, and this is where you get the bulk of your news from too, the real news, you know, as far as social media, because Esau done lost that information war when it comes to your regular local news. Like, that shit is nothing. They give you what they want you to hear, and the world has been wide open to what's really going on globally through these social media sites, and they're going to eventually shut it down. But and we know that, because that Amos 8 and 11 is coming. That famine of the word is coming. But also, these people are starting to come up against their governments, man. They're not being treated fairly. It don't make no difference where they are. Like, throughout and that's the reason why they want to get rid of a lot of their social media too, because it actually incites the people, you know. It causes these uprisings, you know, and these governments, they understand that. So let's get into a little bit of the article. It says at least 14 people are dead after mass demonstrations against a major social media ban in Nepal led to clashes between protesters and cops. Thousands of Gen Z Nepalis have taken to the streets to protest their government's decision to block 26 sites, including Facebook, X, and YouTube. So when they do that, that's them controlling the narrative. This is what's coming to the Americas. See, people don't understand that this very same thing is about to come here. They're already working on it. You know, you got this guy, Benjamin Netanyahu, we call him, you know, Bibi, that Israeli prime minister over there. You know, he's going off into things like this as well. You know, talking about how, I seen him in the video, he was talking about by the time a lie circles around 10 times, the truth finally comes out, and it's already smothered, so to speak, you know, like, so basically the information that people are putting out on them, they want to make it seem as if it's a lie. That's why Trump, he always say fake news, fake news, fake news. You say fake news over and over and over again. Now you got these megas, they actually say fake news. If it's something that's coming up against Trump or anything that's got to do with a Republican, whether it's true or not, they're just going to say fake news. That's all Trump. That's like with the Jeffrey Epstein files. He's like, it's a hoax, it's a hoax, it's a hoax. Now all the megas are saying it's a hoax, it's a hoax, it's a hoax. Because they're really just, they want, that's what that word, I think the word government goes into mind control, if I'm not mistaken. You know, I'm not probably quoting it verbatim, but that's what it's going into. Governments, you know, they want the control of the people, because if you don't have control of the people and you get these uprisings, because the people outnumber the government. And then governments are toppled, you know what I'm saying? So really, all these nations, that social media, man, a bad boy, man. When the Lord created that and put that out here, it really started to expose these kings of the earth. You know, and the scriptures talks about these kings, doing the right thing. You should be doing the right thing as a king, because the Lord placed you in those positions of power. And these world leaders, rather, they're not doing that, man. They're just, fucking the people over. They're overtaxing the people. They're oppressing the people, because it can be easier for these governments. You know what I'm saying? They have the resources and finances to actually make things better, but it's just a bunch of damn corruption, man, from these leaders. So these people are starting to come up against a lot of this stuff, man. But, okay. Yeah, this coming to a theater near you. Look at this crowd. They ready to go, man. These people ready to fucking go. They shut down 26 platforms. Okay, they shut down WhatsApp too. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, WhatsApp. I can't think. Shit, 26 platforms. Shit, I can only really think about maybe 5 or 6 major ones. But damn, they pretty much like nothing for you guys. Nothing. Shit, not even sending your mama a text message, goddamn it. You gonna get this state-sponsored news, and that's that. But these people coming up, and you can see the police over there with them riot shields. Demonstrators gathered near the parliament building of Kathmandu to state their opposition to the ban. Crowds carrying Nepal's national flag chanted, "Stop the ban on social media. Stop corruption, not social media." But the protests have escalated into deadly clashes with police, with around 14 people reported dead so far. Dozens more are believed to be injured, according to the state-run television. See, that's what it is, that state-run. They want everything state-run. That's like China, you know what I'm saying? But, well, it's these countries, they want that shit state, like North Korea. No, you don't get to say nothing. You better not criticize the government. And that's what they coming up with over here, too. When they've been talking about this, I think it's called Gideon, with this new, some Israeli shit they're going to start using here, where, you say anything negative or, anything against Donald Trump or whoever the fuck, next thing you know, SWAT is surrounding your damn house, man. They doing that in a few countries where, Facebook posts just saying some of the simplest shit. They're coming down on the citizens, and that's worldwide, because these leaders, they're understanding that, okay, we can't handle this information. The information war is done. That shit is a done deal. Matter of fact, let me just get Amos 8 and 11 real quick, because this is all that is boiling down to, and we get it. Matter of fact, it's another one. Let me get this one real quick. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, Ezekiel 3 and 26. And it says, "And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house." And that's coming down the pipe with this famine of the word. The Lord is going to just stop the talk. It's going to be a stop of prophets going out. It's going to be a stop of the word going out. It's just going to clip. And people are going to be wondering and looking for answers, and they're not going to be able to find them. And that's in that Amos 8 and 11. Because, see, this type of stuff is coming here. And, these people here, with these motherfuckers going to go crazy as shit over. They already, they going to go batshit crazy here in the Americas when they try and pull this shit off. Amos 8 and 10. Or Salakia. 8 and 11, let me start there. It says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, Yahweh, that I will send a famine into the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. And they shall wander from sea to sea, from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the words of Yahweh, and shall not find it." And that's what's coming down the pipe, man, overall. That's literally what's coming down the pipe. And all these governments are doing that. Nation after nation after nation after nation throughout the globe, man. They're all, this is how these, because these world leaders are being exposed. The way that they get down is being exposed. The money that they're stealing and wasting and, going on fucking lavish trips and prostitution and drugs and whatever the hell they doing is being exposed. Because that camera is on them, man. That cell phone camera, a bad boy. For real. Because you can zoom in, you can zoom in on a motherfucker from a block away and see him doing some shit that he ain't supposed to be doing, you know? So, but let's see what else they got in here. I don't want to keep this long. I just seen this and I'm like, yep, it's coming to a theater near you. It says cops are reported to have shot at demonstrators who attempted to storm the Parliament building. Well, if you're doing some shit like that right there, you know they're going to get at you. They're going to get at you. That bloodshed is coming here to the Americas, man. It's about to get real nasty out here. Nepal's Minister for Communication, Prithvi Subha, told the BBC that police have used water cannons, batons, rubber bullets during the unrest. Well, they've been doing that for quite some time, but it's about to come to a whole new level. Now, I'm not sure if the not police or whatever their names are. I don't know if they have like guns like how they have in the Americas. I don't really think so. I don't think that they may have a ban on guns and shit like that there, but who knows? It says the demonstrations have been dubbed a protest for Gen Z, as many younger Nepalis have come out to take a stand. Authorities have resorted to imposing a curfew over parts of the city in a bid to stem the violence. A small number of soldiers have been deployed to the capital after the curfew was announced. Okay, so what is Trump doing here? Trump deploying soldiers throughout certain cities, and he's gonna expand that. Tear gas filled the streets as demonstrators defied the authorities to express their anger at the social media ban. Just imagine, because these people, people can't live without their social media. When they was about to ban TikTok here, just 7 months or so back, which Trump he kind of kept kind of fucking with and playing with. He kept stretching it out another 90 days, because they were trying to get TikTok to buy or sell the company basically. But people was crying. Grown ass people was crying. Now some people, like I said, that was on there, that's how they make their living. They was content creators, and that's how they ain't had no damn jobs, but they made pretty decent money and shit on those on their pages, selling stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of creative people here. You might know how to make candles. Might know how to make incense. You may know how to make. Your channel might just you a baker. You showing how to do certain cookies, cakes, whatever the fuck. Mechanic shop stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you can learn damn near anything on the web, man. And that's what a lot of people are doing too. That's why a lot of companies are folding, because people are going to YouTube to find out how to do certain things to keep from paying that absorbent cost that these motherfuckers is charging for services, man. You can go to a goddamn brake shop just to get some damn brakes. Brakes used to cost only like about $40-$50, man, to get done. Them shits is like $300-$400 now. People going on YouTube and like, fuck that, let me see how you actually do brakes. Oh, that shit's simple. I'm going out here and I'm gonna try this shit. They don't give a fuck if they get it wrong and skid off the road. You know what I'm saying? Or run into somebody with some Flintstones shit. They don't care nothing about that, man. But this is what the world has come to. It's all become digital. And it's all going into that digital money, man. That's where it's really leading up to, that Revelation 13:16, that market of beauty and the beast. You're not going to be able to buy or sell. And they working on that now. I was just watching Redacted earlier, that Clay and Natalie Mars show or whatever. But they had a guy on there. But they was talking about how the BRICS nations had this emergency meeting today. I guess going off into how overall the U.S. is trying to manipulate going into a digital currency to try and save that dollar, and they're going to try and push it on all the world. So they're trying to come up, I guess, with their so everybody got a race for the MOTB, pretty much overall, a race for the digital currency that's going on in the world. But anyway. But this shows you how weird and crazy these people are about this digital shit. People like this, they gonna take the chip. To keep something as basic as a damn Instagram, they're gonna go out and take that chip. Okay, it says protesters have been pictured clashing with riot police in the Capitol, with some seen climbing the wall near the restricted area. A police spokesman told AFP tear gas and water cannons were used after the protesters breached the restricted area. Riot police, now they probably fucked up. It's probably a lot more people fucked up. Probably deleted a whole bunch more of them than what they reporting on. Riot police force, because if you don't have no social media, If you don't have, you're not going to get the real numbers. That's the thing. Because the state-sponsored news, they're going to be able to tell you, okay, well, this is what happened. And that's that. There's not going to be any other accounts. That's why Jerusalem, Salakia, Benjamin Netanyahu, a Jew over there in Israel, when they doing all that bombing in Gaza, they don't allow no outside reporters in there. They've been killing their asses. They've been bombing the shit out of, gunning them reporters now. They don't want you to know what they're really doing over there. That's the reason why they like, no, we gotta know. And they got a bad rap right now as far as what's being shown on TV. The shit that is slipping through. They like, they got a real bad look in the world. People looking at Israel like y'all some pieces of shit. They see them little skinny ass babies. People have a heart for kids, people got a heart for babies, man. Not them Israelis though, of course. But people got a heart for babies. When they see babies, man, starving and fucking, you know what I'm saying, they malnutrition and they fucking rib cages and showing and they not, people got a heart, for kids, man. So when when people start to see that, it's been a real bad image on Israel over there, man. That's the reason why they want control of the news and social media. Okay, but it says riot police were forced to retreat to a safety after protesters surrounded a parliament building. So they had to back the fuck up. Why? Because it's more citizens than there are military and police and all that other stuff. You got millions and millions and millions to maybe only like 10,000, you know what I'm saying, throughout a region. That shows you how Esau gets down, or these governments get down. They can have a scare tactic in the people. 30 million, 40, 100 million, 200 million people. That's like America. You got like 350 million civilians, including, I guess the law enforcement. But the law enforcement don't have no numbers when it comes to the amount of people that is down. If they actually so that's where they bring in the scare tactics. They come in with the scare tactic. But if these people group up and get together and actually be like, and that's coming too. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick in the Apocrypha. That's coming. 2nd Ezra chapter 15. I'm going to start at verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. So all this little Gen Z shit, they all sticking together, you know what I'm saying, to try and fight for social media. It's going to come to a point where they're going to be fighting against each other. For there shall be sedition among men. This is the point. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So it's going to come a point where people are going to be fighting against each other. But the point that I wanted to make is, these people are not going to regard the king. They're not going to regard the prince or your local president, your governors, your senators, your mayors, your city councilmen, your police officers. It's just going to be all out chaos, man. People are not going to give a fuck. And it's really going to come down to that food and when people when the rationing of the food goes down. Verse 17, it says, and a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So they can easily cut down, with the military, shut down certain, checkpoints and, corner people and have them only in this zone or this neighborhood or whatever the fuck. But it says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's going to come to a theater near you here in these Americas, man. But it's going to go down everywhere overall. But, a main point of this would be the Americas. It's going to be these Americas. This is where it's going to be, main focus is going to be right here in these, in Babylon the Great. It's going to be right here in Babylon the Great, man, because, Esau, just in general, these people in America are ready to fucking blow. And they ain't even lost no social media. They still, the scriptures talks about how, roughly paraphrasing, they still got it good. And they fucking up. But just think when things get real bad, man. The Egyptian gonna be up against the Egyptian. Here you go, you got a whole nother foreign nation They didn't create any of these social media platforms, as far as I know. Most of these platforms are either Chinese or American. But I think Nepal. I'm trying to think, is Nepal? I think Nepal is possibly a portion of China. Don't quote me on that though. I could be wrong. Okay, but let's see what else they got in here, and we'll end out. More than 24 social media platforms have been blocked by the government for not complying with registration deadlines. Okay, so that's well, it could go further than that. I can't see them. These social media companies they have the best lawyers in the world. These are like billion-dollar fucking companies, man. They don't generally be fucking around, because they generally just don't. This could be something on the government. The people probably not falling for that shit. It says officials argue that regulations is needed to prevent the spread of fake news and internet fraud. So there you go. And this is how they're gonna use it everywhere. They're gonna get Trump. I'm telling you, he's been saying that fake news, internet fraud, elections, interference, all this bullshit. The government says social media companies have been given repeated notice to officially register, but have failed to act. But critics have blasted the measure of censorship and an attack on freedom of expression. Slogans including "Enough is enough" and "End to corruption" have adorned placards at the protest. Many of the banned sites are widely used in Nepal, further stoking anger at the move. But other platforms such as TikTok and Viber have registered with Nepal's authorities and are continuing to operate without disruption. Okay, all right. Some users have resorted to downloading VPNs to get access to the banned websites. TikTok was previously blocked in Nepal in 2023 after it was accused of disrupting social harmony, goodwill, and diffusing indecent materials. Okay, so they probably got at TikTok, and TikTok probably fell for the bullshit, and it's probably just something crispy clean over there. That TikTok over there probably ain't nothing like the TikTok here in the America, because it's not like that in China. China, is different variations of that shit. The ban was lifted in 2024 after the company committed to comply with a number of local laws. Yep. But that's crazy when your military is ready to, they gunning at the citizens over shit like this. You know what I'm saying? But hey, this is the world we live in. Everything is going digital, and it just is what it is, man. And that, I'm telling you, that's gonna be here soon. Let's see what a couple of these comments got to say. Gen Z must have self-validation. That's not what this is all about. Somebody says they should ban it here in the States before it's too late. Well, it's people that feel that way because, hey, this shit got everybody fucked up. Because it's too late. It's too late. The only people that can survive a shutdown as far as these social media sites would be like some goddamn 2 to 3 year olds that never had, understood how to type or do any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's too late. It says, look how addicted they are to social media, destroying one country at a time. Well, hey, that's everywhere. That's everywhere. Get rid of that shit here in the Americas, I'm telling you, and see what's gonna happen. It says, but the U.S. is the worst country in the world if you ask your own people. Yeah, it is. It's far worse than that place. Because where do you think they got this idea of social media from? These people are replicating America. They're drinking of that wine of Babylon the Great. They're trying to be like America. That's the reason why they over there bugging the fuck out. Because they've drunk that wine of Babylon the Great. This is American shit that them people are doing. They see the American way on those sites. That's the reason why they're reacting the way that they're reacting. America has pushed its philosophies throughout the world, man. See, here's a person right here says, well, what did the government expect when you take people's freedoms to express themselves away from them? Well, everybody not supposed to be able to express themselves. Because in our kingdom, you motherfuckers not going to be able to express yourself. You so-called white people, any of y'all running up talking about some expression of self, we gonna hit your ass over the head with that goddamn law, bro. We gonna hit you over the head with the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai with that rod of iron. There ain't gonna be no fucking self-expression. And that's the way that Israel was ran to begin with. You know what I'm saying? We was one mind, one body. We had law, statutes, and commandments, and it wasn't like, okay, well, I don't believe in that. I don't want to do that. Nah, motherfucker. There were laws on putting your ass to death in certain situations. And see, with this freedom of speech shit, this American, this liberty to gather abroad, that's why so many people fucked up. You have a place like North Korea, and America might tell you that that's they'll demonize them and say that that's the most fucked up place in the world. They don't have no rights. They don't have this. But guess what? They're doing better than America. They don't have the crime level that America has. They don't have the prostitution that America has. They don't have the drugs use that America has. They don't have the, you know what I'm saying? They don't have the problems that America has, man. There's no fucking road rage over there. There's no, no fentanyl camp cities and shit where everybody running around shooting up and shit, needles all over the fucking park, man. They don't have those problems. A lot of those countries don't have those problems. Dubai, these different so-called Muslim countries. But America tell you that they're savages and that the people don't have no rights. But guess what? They don't have no problems with the diseases, STDs, motherfucking AIDS, and you know what I'm saying? A bunch of damn adultery. Even though those nations that they're calling savages, bro, got a far better way of life than these fucking Americans. Because with all that freedom, that liberty to get abroad, that shit is nothing but trouble. It's nothing but trouble. Here you go, you got it where a woman, she can get up, leave her husband in bed with the fucking 5 kids, and she can just get made up, dressed up, and her homegirls will pull up, and they can be out until next week. And that bitch might not come back. She might, but she might not come back. And there's nothing you can do about it. This bitch is able to go out, fuck all weekend, get pregnant, have a morning after pill, or, just come to a point of, you know what, I changed my mind, I'm gonna abort this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so America is the most wickedest place on the planet, but you'll have people like this right here. They'll tell you that these other countries are worse, but it's not. See, let me. Oh no, I can't read all this. They got a long ass paragraph too. Fuck all that. And then somebody says, "Well said, my friend." The fuck out of here. And somebody agreeing to this shit. I'll say it again. Joseph DeVito's comment proves the point. The internet will be the downfall of civilization. Yeah, okay. Well, all right. You're making a point there. And that's not going to be the downfall of Americans or civilization as you think. The downfall is already prophetic. The downfall is Esau Edom, the so-called white race that created all this bullshit, that gave you all these freedoms, that gave you that wine to think that you can go out here and do what the fuck you want. Because I say it all the time. America is the only place where you can legally self-destruct. People legally self-destruct. There's so many things that you can do here where you can just self-destruct that's legal. Straight up. People delete themselves on a day-to-day basis, man, here. You can legally get into a motherfucking car that do 200 miles an hour, but the speed limit don't go no further than 70 to 80 as far as their signs. But this motherfucker can hit that gas, and he can just tumble that bitch, man. Flip that motherfucker over 20, 30 times, crash into a tanker, have a 30 car pile up, because he has the freedom to roam and reign, just his own mindset, my thinking. I'm free. Look at me. No, I don't, But like I said again, when it comes to our kingdom, you're going to line up. You're going to get in line. And we're going to rule over you with a fucking iron fist, man. Ain't going to be none of that. Come on, bro. And catch a bitch out at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, with her ass cheeks out. Nah, bitch, you crazy. None of that's going on in our kingdom. The hell out of here. And that's what's wrong with America. That's the reason that's the reason why the crime rate, you know, in so many spots is through the damn roof. Because of the freedoms, or so-called freedoms that you have. Because there ain't nothing but freedom to self-destruct. That's all it is. So I'm gonna end out there. Seeing this, you know, because we're the watchmen, man. We have to watch out for stuff like this. Because this is coming here. And Trump not gonna have no problems with telling the military to air your ass out if you a problem. He done already pretty much said that. You spit, we hit. So with that, I pray the lesson was edifying. Kwame Yashala in the Bible Ball.